seen each other in 20 years.
I'm free to do what I want.
But tonight, they're returning to their hometown to finish the ultimate bar crawl.
This is our chance to finally conquer the Golden Mile. 12 pubs, 12 pints.
And this time, they're going to make it to the last bar, the World's End.
Let's go!
Was there something you knew about basing a film around a pub crawl that you knew would really connect with Australian audiences?
I think the pub is a very intrinsic part of British culture, certainly, and I think our kind of natural relationship that we have with Australia anyway, even though we're on different sides of the world, there's a great simpatico between our nations. I think it was always going to do well here as well, because the pub similarly is an important place of meeting and social interaction, and drinking is a national pastime.
Indeed, it looked like a lot of fun to make.
It was fun to make, but it was also extremely hard work. It was a film that we made in the UK in the winter time. We did a lot of night shoots, a lot of exteriors. It was all set in one night, so that's 3 months of continuous continuity. We worked long hours. There were big action sequences, fight scenes.
Yeah.
There were injuries, broken hands, broken hearts.
Who had injuries?
I broke my hand. I broke my heart. Spiral fracture of the fourth metatarsal, carpal.
Well, speaking of scary, I think this is one of your most intimidating roles. I guess you would say the hard taskmaster of the film. You're the one that doesn't soften to Gary's wishes that quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was important to us that he, unlike the others who are kind of glad to, and it may not bother the others as much as it does Andy, but Andy's, something that's happened between our characters that we don't know about until later on in the film, but it was important that I don't let him get away with anything.
What do you recommend?
Beer.
We'll have 5 of those, please. 4 of those, and a tap water.
What? Look who it is.
Wow, long time. Gary.
Welcome, bienvenue, welcome.
Usually, when there's a night of drinking, there's usually one person who wants it much more than everybody else. And you have to kind of start to wonder why this person is so adamant that this is happening. And we wanted to take somebody who was, in all our movies, we try and think of your least likely hero. And to take Gary King, who's kind of at rock bottom in the movie, and actually elevate him to intergalactic savior.
He's a manipulator for sure. He manages to persuade 4 people who essentially don't like him to come along for a night out, and he does each one in a different way. And they're very quick to fall back into their old patterns that they had when they were kids, and it kind of goes to show that the things that happen when you're young, they're not meaningless. Those decisions you make, those relationships you have, they are real, and even though you had them when you were learning about life, they don't make them any less real.
Everybody in their school year has a Gary King, and I think I've had an interesting response to the movie in terms of people either say, "Oh man, I know that guy," or they say, "Oh my God, I am that guy," So I think it's something that a lot of people relate to, is that there's that friend at school who was the coolest guy, or the ladies loved him, and he, for that brief moment at age 18, was the leader of the pack, and then everybody else grew up, and he just stayed there.
Welcome home, boys.
It's not us that's changed. It's the town. What are you doing?
It's all right, I'm not trying to have sex with you.
There's something I need to tell you right now, unless you do want to have sex, in which case I'll tell you afterwards.
Tell me right now.
And did you take your gothism out of your childhood into
I was very much
young
a goth.
adulthood?
Yeah, I loved dressing up as Gary King because it was stuff that I would have gladly worn at 18 and felt liberated to get to wear again at 42,
It's a fantastic soundtrack.
It's a
Did you guys have any
compilation
hand in picking some of those songs?
As writers of the film, Edgar and myself specifically map out certain songs at certain times, and we always wanted to use the likes of the Stone Roses and Teenage Fan Club and the Inspiral Carpets and the Soup Dragons, and even things like Kylie Minogue.
All of this kind of social farce, everything from all of your awkwardness from your kind of past, always filters straight into a comedy script.
We're just 5 friends on a night out, having a good time.
The World's End.
What the hell is that? We are gonna get to the world's end if it kills us.
Oh no!